Good morning. It's busy out here this morning. So I'm jumping on today to talk a little bit about education. This channel is for AI, and that's the dog. Um, this channel is for AI, and because as I shared last time, in the process of researching AI, my brain has been turned inside out multiple times. I think it's really important to talk about education and how we are educated. I happen to be North American, and we have a certain way of educating in the States and in Canada that is different from Europe. I did my architecture training. I did 2 years of my architecture training in Denmark. So not that you guys don't know how education works in the States, but I'm just going to break it down because in light of AI and how we are going to create our new world using AI and using it in its best ways, I think it's really important to talk about education. So, I could go as far back as primary school. I don't know what you call it in the States, but grades 1 through 7, kindergarten even. Maybe not kindergarten in Canada, but grades 1 through 7, you're sitting in a desk, you're given a curriculum, and you stay there for like 8 hours, something like that. And now I'm just going to fast forward because we know how high school is. I'm going to fast forward to university. And when I was the way architecture school works in Canada is that and even the States, you take a bunch of classes. You take all these set classes that they set out for you. You take these classes, and in each class, usually, I went to a few different schools, but usually you do one project per class, or you have a textbook that you use in the class, and everything's kind of disparate. And so we could go back all the way to maybe high school and see that pattern that, they separated history from English and English from math and math from science. And so we're used to, in North America, having everything in these discrete pockets and piles, when in reality, we are not in these discrete piles. We are not in these discrete pockets. Life is continuous and life is connected, and we are all connected. And so, what our brains learn, aside from so I'm being pulled. It's an important walk for my dog this morning. So, we're kind of, we're changing rhythms. So, it's important for context to think about these discrete, kind of piles, if you will, of disciplines, because it also trains our brain. And even like for me, I was always like, why are we separating all of these things? But so even though I had an awareness that they were separate, and maybe very early on, my parents admitted to me that they didn't need to be, still your brain gets trained like that. Your brain gets trained on patterns. Your brain gets trained on what it knew before. And actually, so does ChatGPT, but that's another video. So our brain gets trained on these discrete pockets and separating. But really what I want to talk about today is actually what happens because it was so planned out. So somebody, and I'm sure there are videos on it and we could watch, maybe I'll cut it in. Somebody came up with the idea of our education system, and that we would have textbooks, and we would have certain textbooks that would be our, I don't know, third grade textbooks or our history textbooks. And let's see, my dog is pulling and growling. So, okay, so somebody came up with this curriculum. They call it the curriculum. So in the curriculum, we can relax because we don't have to worry about it. So do you know any high school students, or even you remember yourself, that you were super bored in high school? Well, somebody made a curriculum and it didn't really take you into account, not you as a person. And so you're meant to do the curriculum, you do the curriculum, and either that works for you and you, hopefully succeed in life, or it doesn't work for you and hopefully you succeed in life. But either way, it's programming. Like, I can say it didn't work for me. And it caused me to turn a little bit off. Like, I would be bored and then I would maybe not pay as much attention. Or I kind of just knew the system and could get through with really good grades. But I wasn't investing in my creative mind, my creative self, and organizing my own time. There's a lot to be said for organizing your own time, for being able to organize your own time and to have discipline around that. So really from age 6 until, in my case, age 22, I finished my undergraduate. I ended up doing 4 more years of my master's in a few different countries. And that's like, enter Denmark. Let's just bring it in now, because in Denmark, they had no classes. They had absolutely no classes. And they supplied you with all your materials. So everything that you used in your design process was free, and you didn't have to worry about whether you could do it if you didn't have the money to buy the materials, because you did, and it was there. And in the case of the Danes, they're paid to go to school, so they have money for housing. So imagine that scenario. And I'm not sure if I said it clearly, but there are no classes, which means that in there, it's not that they're not getting educated. They just have, in the case of architecture, one design studio, one design teacher, and that teacher may bring in other guest lecturers, other guest critics, other guests to go over your design process. But the intention of the education is to empower you to take an idea from an idea to fruition and research and manifest all the different parts, meaning like integrate history, integrate science, integrate engineering, integrate all the different parts yourself. And I'll be honest, the first year I was there, it's not that I didn't work hard. I did show up. I at least had the discipline to show up, because I'd been sitting 8 hours in a desk for most of my life. So I knew to show up. Maybe I showed up more than the Danes, who would bake bread the night before and, take care of their kids. They had all these commitments, and they were beautiful, beautiful people. So, oh my goodness, can you see that? I hope you can see. Oh, sorry, squirrel. So yeah, in Denmark, it took me a year to kind of learn the process and build the discipline to, not go necessarily and sit there for 8 hours, but allow myself to have coffee with friends and a pastry, and then go and sit for 2 hours, and then go and have some soup, and then go and sit for another 2 hours. And even a 4-hour workday, when you have freedom, you can get a lot done. When you're following your intuition, and you have an idea and a goal, and you make steps and you move towards it, you start to get a lot done when you're consistent and you don't give up. which is you're not going to give up because you're in school. But now fast forward to AI. Now this is a whole other time because as we spoke last time, the tools are being made so quickly. It's not every week. It's not every day. It's not every hour. It's more than one a minute all around the world. The landscape is changing so fast. So, and there's no one. And if there is someone that says they have the answers and the results and like you have to buy their program in order to succeed, then you're just, I do it too. And actually it's a good way to learn because you learn from people who know what they're doing, at least in one aspect, but that's all they do know, or all they can manage is what they can see. And as a human, we can't see as much as the computer. We can't see as fast as the computer. And so really, first of all, we're called right now to participate because it's being made, it's being built on our participation. And if we don't participate, then it will be built anyways, but not on our participation. It'll be built without us. And we may not even know what happened, or we may be watching it, and that's maybe worse, just to watch it and not participate. So I have to say, I did spend a good deep dive for 6 months and even a year before that, not sharing, not taking action, just testing. That's what I do as an architect. That's what I'm good at, because you want to find the right materials that can take your project to a unique place and satisfy the needs of your clients. And so, that worked well as an architect. And as an architect, again, I run teams and I manage teams and diverse pieces of, like, to bring a building to life, you have pieces coming from all around the world and different disciplines that you're managing and different shipments that you're managing and contractors. And so, all of that is comfortable to me. But in AI, that landscape is changing. Sorry, my hand is hurting. That landscape is changing every single day. So we're going to get better at the filming. Please excuse me. We'll laugh at it one day. So coming back to, I guess the essence of why I jumped on today is to say that we may not be trained as North Americans. We may not actually be trained necessarily for success right now, but now more than ever, we have to take control of our brain. We have to take control of our time. We have to take control of our discipline and set a goal, create steps. And yes, you might get sidetracked on the steps. And also, one of the strategies that I've used that maybe I don't recommend, but maybe I do, I have used the strategy of figuring out 5 niches at once, which is a lot. If you go down one rabbit hole, it's a lot and infinite, and you could just stay there. But I have challenged myself, and I've been working out how to do multiple things in multiple ways simultaneously, which, like I said, has turned me inside out and has been challenging, even to the point of despair at times. Like, you really, it's, especially when you do believe in yourself. I do believe that I'm capable of it. And you're kind of, at least for me, I became faced with my, whatever didn't work. I don't even know how to say it. Like, if you're trying to accomplish something, just all of your stuff comes out, because it's like I remember when I built an architecture project. I worked on the Olympic Village of the 2010 Olympics, and at install, the pieces that the Olympics were in Canada, and the pieces came from New York City. That was where our fabricators were. So the fabricators came, and then of course you have to deal with install in another country with other people. The same thing happened in Italy, but I'll just tell you the Canadian version. And I remember getting there in the morning, or yeah, like I would do my meditations, I would be peaceful. My partner would do the same. We would get there and I would feel like things coming at me and like having to grab them and put them to the side, grab them and put them to the side. Almost like E.T. in the forest when E.T. is riding through the forest. I mean, there's so many movies, but like, and there's like stuff coming at him in his face and he's just like, I've got to go. I got to go. So all of that to say, that's kind of what it felt like with the AI, but to the exponential of infinity. Like really, it's inexplainable. And I share all this to admit and to give permission to you to be uncomfortable and to not stop. Like put it in your schedule if you are driven for an hour a day. Put it in your schedule for 2 hours a day. Do it, I don't know, when you have downtime and the little breaks between things. You're going to progress. And then I guess where I'm at is I'm finally at the stage where it's time to share. And I will jump on the computer and start sharing with you guys. I'm going to do these as a kind of supplement so that you know where I'm at and where I've been and how I got here and why you would even listen to me. I know that they're a little bit of a rambling talk, so maybe the same people that watch this will not watch the AI stuff. Maybe it's two audiences. But I did want to jump on and just say, hey, we weren't necessarily programmed for success on this as North Americans, but we can do it. And it's a matter of, giving yourself permission, finding your tribe, sticking to your tribe so that you're, surrounded by people that are encouraging you to keep going and to stick with it. And maybe they're also researching things and you can go, back and forth and, oh, have you heard of this tool? And what does this one do? And because, and I will reveal it in this channel, I feel like for the tribe that I've collected, also my real life tribe that I have, but also the online tribe, I've begun to really figure out some Lego pieces, which I mentioned last time are the building blocks of what can make AI do something to make the world better, to do your intention, to solve your problem, to complete your goals. So that's it for today. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. I hope the camera work is a little bit better, but maybe it's worse, but it will keep getting better. Have a beautiful day.